Welcome back, everyone, to the BGF podcast. This is episode 17. I'm your host, Gianluca, alongside of
Brandon.
And today, everyone, we got some NFL previews, baby. NFL starting in less than 2 days.
It's about damn time.
Are you ready for it?
Yes, sir. I'm ready for a shootout in Thursday Night Football.
You think it's going to be a shootout? Let's get right into it. KC versus Detroit, defending Super Bowl champions. So what we decided to do for you guys today is do a little spreads, pick-em type style. We're going to go over every game, the spreads, and who we have winning with the spreads. So
we're going to be doing this every week. It's going to be, we're going to keep track. Whoever gets the most right throughout the season. So every week, let's say I get 6 right and he gets 4 right. So I would get the point that week. And then by the end of the season, all 17 weeks, whoever has the most points is going to have to buy the loser a jersey of their choice on NFL.com, shop.com, whatever it's called now. So, yeah, it's going to be some stakes around these picks, so we're going to have to really...
you have to think about that. Yeah. It won't be that easy. But yeah, no, anyways, just for those of you that don't know, the spreads is basically, if your team is favored, if it has a negative sign next attached to their name, they're favored by that amount of points. So usually the spread is every half. So for example, right here you have Kansas City minus 6.5 over Detroit. That means they have to win by more than 7 points to cover the spread. If Detroit loses and still loses by less than 7 points, Detroit wins. They cover the spread. So, anyways, yeah, like Brandon was saying, KC Detroit, you're expecting a shootout.
Yeah, especially if Chris Jones isn't playing for KC. I'm expecting both offenses to really
just go at it one after the other.
Because I know Detroit has an improved defense this year, but I don't know if they got much for KC's offense.
I mean, look, we saw last year with Patty Mahomes, he can make anything happen. As long as he's got Kelsey, that offense is running, it's rolling. It doesn't matter who his receivers are. And, yeah, no, I have to agree with you. I think...
I already put a bet on for that game, actually. I put...
What'd you put?
I put KC minus 6.5.
So no way!
I put KC minus 6.5. Amon-Ra St. Brown over 7.5 receptions. And... Amon-Ra St. Brown touchdown and Travis Kelsey touchdown scorer. So
he's got the touchdown scores.
$10 to win 100. So
hey, that's a pretty safe bet. You know what? I definitely see all that happening.
So I think it's gonna be Amon-Ra, especially now that we know Jameson Williams or whatever. I'm pretty sure him and Gibbs are gonna be getting a majority of the targets there. So
peep the Tims run, boys.
Yes, sir.
Tim Hortons, the little Canadians out here. But yeah, no, I definitely see the 6.5 happening, but I also wouldn't be surprised if Detroit were to cover it. They come out hard off the gate, you know. Dan Campbell's got them rolling.
Yeah, it's definitely possible.
And he keeps it close. It's just I have a hard time betting against the Super Bowl champions. But, I mean, we've seen the trend recently over the years. The reigning, defending Super Bowl champions always get smacked week 1. We saw it with the Rams, the Bucks. We'll see if the Chiefs keep it going. But, no, anyways, I'm taking the Chiefs 6.5 here.
The only thing I could see with KC is because they do have, like, their wide receiver room is different now. Like,
yeah.
It's looking like who's going to be the starter? Sky Moore, Justin Ross.
Kadarius Toney.
Is Tony...
Is he playing, though? I think he might be hurt. He might be hurt.
Who knows with that guy, man? But yeah, so that's the only thing I can see. Maybe it's not clicking right away. Maybe that's going to be an issue. But I think KC should cover. So we both got them there in the first game.
Yes, sir. Anyways, we're doing... I'm in a pool league where we do weekly pick'ems. So we're just following the spreads we got here, boys. So if it's different from what you got, we're sorry.
Yeah, we are recording this on Tuesday. So.
Yeah. So let's move on to the Sunday afternoon games. First one I got here, New Orleans favored 3.5 versus Tennessee. What do you think about that one? That's a tough one.
Yeah, this is a tough one because the 3.5s are always a tricky line.
Yeah.
So it's in New Orleans, right?
Yeah, New Orleans is home.
That makes it even tougher.
Here's the thing, right? Like, you can say all you want. I just don't like Tennessee's offense this year. I don't trust it.
The thing is, even me, like on paper, I don't like it. But I know how Mike Vrabel teams are. These guys are always going to be able to compete and stay in games.
Yeah.
That's one thing. Every time you bet against them, it feels like they're always just able to
keep
cover.
It close and cover. And
Vrabel.
Sorry, my bad. Vrabel is a very tough head coach. He has a very good defense. You know what? No matter what his defense looks like on paper, they're going to play hard. That's just the type of coach he is. Now that offense, you upgraded. You got D-Hop. Hopefully Henry's healthy. Should be. And Tannehill. We'll see what type of Tannehill we got Maybe you got Malik Willis come in there, which I doubt, or Will Levis.
Nah, it's going to be Tannehill.
But, that offense, you add the weapons on offense, my opinion doesn't do much because that offense is running behind Derrick Henry no matter what. I don't think they're going to turn into a pass-heavy offense. The New Orleans defense, though, is solid. I like this defense a lot. Very, very underrated piece. We forget that they got guys like Lattimore and guys like that on their end.
Jordan. I feel like it's kind of an aging defense as well, though.
It is aging. It's just I trust a quarterback Derek Carr more than Ryan Tannehill.
I don't trust either of them, to be honest. So you're going to go with New Orleans?
I think I'm favoring New Orleans here just because they're at home. It's going to be a tough affair, but I can see New Orleans beating them by like 4 points.
You know what? I think this is the first one where we're going to differ. I'm going to go Tennessee. Just because I don't really have trust in both of these teams, so I'll just go for the dog.
That's
here,
okay.
Especially at 3.5. I'll take Tennessee here.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
So it's our first one we disagree on.
I like that. Anyways, we're going to move right on to the Jags versus the Colts. First in-division matchup here. Jags favored 4.5. Colts are hosting.
Yeah, this one...
This is a tough line.
Mm-hmm.
Because recency, like, just in general, the Colts always play the Jags tight. Like, it's always a tight game.
Divisional matchups are always going to be tighter.
Now, my original bet, I did this really, really quick before coming here, was putting it on the Jags. Looking back at it, 4.5 is a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I like this Jags team a lot, but I also think this Colts defense is able to hold them to like a field goal.
Yeah, I don't know what to think about Indy though, especially without Jonathan Taylor. I don't know. It's gonna be like a lot of pressure. Anthony Richardson's first game is gonna be a lot of pressure on him to really have to carry that offense.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with Jacksonville here. I think they're locked and loaded, ready to go. They're going to be one of the better teams in the league, and I think Indy, it's just a bit early for them, so I'll go for Jacksonville in this one, 4.5.
I'm actually going to take Colts here. I'm going to switch my vote. I like the 4.5. I think they're going to be able to cover it, and then once again, we're differing. I like it.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be, someone's going to come out on top.
Yeah. And then, anyways, moving on now.
Your game.
Minnesota Vikings hosting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And they are 6.5 point favorites.
That's a lot.
That is a big spread for Minnesota. But honestly, I think this team is going to go out there and prove a point. Last year, we won too many close games. Week 1 versus Green Bay, we absolutely smacked them. I think that trend is going to continue. This offense is going to be lethal. This defense is going to be different. Under Brian Flores, we're not going to sit back and watch Tampa Bay work. We're actually going to pressure them. That preseason game versus Arizona where he just lined up 8 guys on the line and sent the fucking house. That was the most beautiful blitz I've ever seen since Mike Zimmer.
I can see the tears in your eyes too.
That's allergies, but whatever. It's okay. But yeah, I'm excited for this defense. Honestly, I don't think it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
But under Flores, it's definitely gonna be different. We're gonna expect a lot of pressure. It can be worse than last year. 31st against the pass last year.
I definitely think Minnesota's going to win this game. It's just 6.5. Like, Tampa Bay, like, I know they got Baker, and, like, it's not going to be a great team this year, but still, overall, there's, like, they still got good players on the roster. Since 6.5 is still, like, a pretty heavy line. Originally, I'd just, like, all right, I'm Minnesota, but thinking over it, I know you're going to go Minnesota.
I'm going Minnesota here.
And you know what? I'll play it safe. I'll take Minnesota. I don't think it's like a layup type of line, but I think it's going to be pretty tight. So I'll go Minnesota as well. I still have to see Tampa a bit this year just to have my mind made on them.
See how good Baker really is. Former number 1 overall pick, so he's definitely good.
I don't know about that.
Anyways, moving on. We got the Commanders versus the Cardinals. Commanders at home, and they are also favorites 6.5 over the Cards. Now, I'll let you take care of this one.
Yeah, Washington at home against Arizona could be like one of the worst teams in NFL history the way it's looking. I don't even know. I think Clayton Tune is going to be the starting QB for them. So that Arizona team is looking very bad. I think this could be a 3-score win for Washington. But
wow.
Washington without Terry McLaurin most probably as well. I think if you have Jahan Dotson in fantasy, I think that's a big time start. I think he might have a huge week against Arizona. So yeah, I'm gonna easily take Washington here. I won't be betting on Arizona much this year.
No, that's it. And if you guys are doing Survivor or anything, I think this is a pretty good shout right here. Just always betting against Arizona. But yeah, no, the team in Arizona just doesn't want to be there. I don't think. Like, it feels like everyone just wants to get out of there.
Buda Baker especially.
Buda Baker just wants out. I mean, you traded everyone and you left this man on an island in Arizona by himself. Like, you literally got rid of Isaiah Simmons for a 7th. You tell me you can't get something for Buda? But yeah, no, I'm gonna have to agree with you. 6.5 here is a big number, but like you said, Cardinals are not a great football team.
So you're gonna take the commies.
Taking the commies as well, 6.5. I think that's a pretty safe bet.
Next up,
we got your game.
San Fran versus Pittsburgh. -2.5 line. It's at
on
Pittsburgh.
The road. Yeah, Pittsburgh's at home.
So even this tough line, this is gonna be not. Like, when I first saw the schedule, I'm like, oh yeah, Pittsburgh, we should be able to beat them easily, but it's definitely going to be a hard-fought game. And Niners are, like, probably 90% sure are going to be without Nick Bosa in this game, so that's a big-time loss for us. But we still got pieces, especially on the defensive side.
You brought in Hargrave, right? So.
Yeah, Nick Bosa just gives us that presence off the edge that we're going to be missing here against Pittsburgh. I'm going to lean for us here, San Fran, -2.5. It's definitely going to be not super easy because I think Pittsburgh is going to be a better team this year, but I'll still just give us that slight edge.
Yeah, no, I'm going to actually have to disagree with you here. I like Pittsburgh a lot here, especially since it's San Fran's first game of the season. We know how good San Fran is off the gate. You should start off a little slow.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm liking Pittsburgh here. Usually Pittsburgh's pretty hot off the gate. Their defense is always ready to go. And you got a healthy TJ, you got a healthy defense. I'm expecting an improved offense with that O-line. So, yeah, I like Pittsburgh here. I really do. I'm going to go with Pittsburgh at home, cover the spread. I might even see them winning this game.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Just, it's a tough matchup for San Fran. You don't want to go to a place like Heinz Field right off the bat.
Yeah, if this was at Levi's, I think, the line would definitely not be at 2.5. I think
it would be a little higher.
It would be like a 4.5 or something. Anyway, next up, let's move on to Cincy versus Cleveland. -2.5 in Cincinnati's favor. Do you know where this is at? Cleveland?
This is in Cleveland.
Cleveland, yeah. At first glance, you look at it, you're like, yeah, this is a layup line as well for Cincinnati. But again, another team that they don't start off very well. I think Joe Burrow should be fine to play in this game, but I'm not 100% sure, and he probably won't be 100% healthy. So there's definitely some possibility that Cleveland could win this game or cover the line.
Yeah, that's the thing with Cleveland, right? People don't really know or think Cleveland's a good team just because of Deshaun Watson. People assume that, he's not a great human being, so they don't like them. But Cleveland has talent, especially on that defense. Jay Ward, Myles Garrett, very, very good pieces. And Cincinnati, like you said, always starts off slow. Last year, Joe Burrow threw 5 picks in the season opener in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can see why people are favoring Cincy here. Just, it's the same thing for me with San Fran. They always start off slow for whatever reason. I really like Cleveland, especially that they're at home. In division matchup, Cleveland always plays Cincy hard. Cleveland always plays their division rivals hard. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to take Cleveland here, cover the spread, and maybe even win the game.
Yeah, I have a hard one here. I have a hard time with this one.
This one's tough. This one's tough.
It's at Cleveland, you said?
It's in Cleveland.
I think I'm gonna go with the safe route. I'm just gonna take Cincinnati. Yeah.
It's another.
I don't love it. I do not love this pick, but I feel like
it could very well happen. Like, honestly, if recency, like if everything was put out of equation, like they were just playing, they weren't division rivals, I'd probably smash Cincy here.
Yeah. No, it's a very tough one. If this line was +3 versus Cleveland, I would take it. 'Cause I think it's gonna be a 3-point game. But
yeah.
If it's a 3-point game, this is Cincy's line 1. So.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Very tough start for Cincy. You don't want to go down there, especially in division matchup. But moving on to another interdivision matchup, we got the Atlanta Falcons hosting the Carolina Panthers, as well as being 3.5-point favorites. Sorry.
Bryce Young's first career game and Bijan's first career NFL game.
Yeah, so. versus Desmond Ridder, baby. The two youngins going at it.
This is definitely going to be a game I'm going to be looking at closely.
It's going to be a fun little matchup, honestly.
I have to see Bijan's first game.
You're gonna be big on
I
that
have to take
one,
my victory laps every time he goes crazy.
Those 10-yard rushes, you're gonna be dancing.
So, who are you leaning here, Atlanta?
So the way I'm looking at this, right, is that Carolina offense, I don't love it. I don't think it's great. You're bringing Bryce Young to a
Terrible situation.
terrible situation. I mean, his best wide receiver on paper is probably Adam Thielen, which
I think Mingo might be the one.
yeah, but just Thielen, he's been in the NFL for a while, so people would probably bank on Thielen. But I like the potential on Mingo. I like the potential of this offense towards the back end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with the young wide receivers. You got Terrence Marshall, Laviska Shenault. These are young guys, young pieces that are, haven't really been given a shot. They come over to Carolina, and now they're no DJ Moore. You don't really have a wide receiver. You don't have an alpha in that locker room, so it's like wide open. So if one of these rookies or young guys wants to take it, they definitely can. And then the thing with Atlanta is, like you said, Bijan Robinson's looking really, really good. And obviously it's Desmond Ridder at quarterback. They're going to see what they have with him this year. They're going to roll the die, and I don't know.
And it's another one. Like, it's tough.
I don't know.
It's an in-division matchup, and
Yeah.
it's that line, that -3.5 line that I always hate. But what's it called? The Panthers are on the road. Like, I want my heart, like, not even my heart. My logic says take Carolina, because for the line, you take
the underdog here.
But like,
I don't know. Something's telling me in Atlanta. It's
because Carolina, I think, is gonna be shit.
I mean, are they even gonna have Brian Burns
That's all I was
starting?
just about to say. If Brian Burns isn't playing, then that's really a big hit for them.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna agree with you. I'm gonna take Atlanta here.
I like Atlanta here too. This was another very tough one. I can't even lie. There's some tough spreads this week.
Because especially that it's week 1, we don't really, like, a lot of teams look different. We don't really have the info on them yet. Like, we haven't seen them play, so it's gonna be very tough for this week.
Moving on to the biggest spread of the week. Actually, let me just double check that. Yeah, this is the biggest spread of the week. We got the Baltimore Ravens hosting the Houston Texans, as well as being 9.5-point favorites.
Very, very big line.
That's a very big line for Baltimore, and there's just
They're disrespectful to Houston.
yeah. CJ's first start. Got Will Anderson's first start. This young Houston team with D'Amico Ryans as head coach.
Just Baltimore's at home. If
Baltimore's-
Houston was at home, you know what? I'd take them, but I think I'm gonna still take Baltimore anyway.
This is a big spread. It can go honestly either way. We really don't know what to expect from Houston. That offense, especially without Brandon Cooks, we don't know. There's so much uncertainty there. The only piece we know what they can do,
Collins, but
and Dameon Pierce.
Damian Pierce as well.
Like, is CJ Stroud going to be able to handle? Honestly, I think CJ Stroud is put into a better spot than Bryce Young, just because Houston has a better O-line.
Laramie Tons.
Laramie Tunsil just leading the way there, but
Shaq Mason there as well.
they got a decent O-line, right? So they can protect CJ. They can give him time to just make his reads and options. And I have a hard time betting against Baltimore this early on.
Yeah, I just don't know Baltimore if Mark Andrews is gonna play. I know he came back to practice yesterday, so he's not guaranteed to play. But even without him, they still got decent. It's not like past years where Mark Andrews is the only weapon on offense.
Yeah,
They got some more guys now. So plus Isaiah Likely, I think
is
that'll
going to
be
play.
a big opportunity for him, because I think he's ready to start at tight end for them. They didn't have Mark Andrews. If he was on another team that is missing a tight end, I think he could be pretty decent.
Yeah, no, I agree. I also, Bateman's healthy. He's back.
I'm going to take Baltimore here. Another one that Houston could surprise, but I think Baltimore's the right pick here.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with that. I like Baltimore 9.5 early. It's just too much uncertainty with that Houston offense and defense, matter of fact. So we'll see what they do. Sorry about that. We'll see what they do early on in the season, but I also like this Houston team second half. I think they're going to be really good later on in the year.
And Stroud's going to start gaining momentum, and he's going to be used to the offense.
Yeah.
Our next one, we got Chicago at home facing Green Bay, and they're favored at -1.5. This line, well, because they're at home, that's probably the only reason why they're favored, but I think Green Bay is the better team than Chicago.
Green Bay just owns Chicago, guys.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
Even without Rodgers, I think. But it's Jordan Love's. It's not his first start, actually. He started last season, a few games. So I'm gonna say Green Bay here. I think they got a really good defense. Chicago's gonna feel like confident with their new pieces they added. Tremaine Edmonds, T.J. Edwards on defense. They added DJ Moore on offense.
Yeah.
So yeah, you gotta be confident, but I still think Green Bay is a veteran. Like they still got veterans on that team, and I think they'll have enough to be able to come into Chicago and at least cover the line.
The thing with this matchup, right, is don't let Justin Fields run wild, and it's an easy win for Green Bay because I don't trust Fields as a passer personally.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's just me, but I think this line is absurd. Like, you can't have Chicago favored 1.5 when they won like 5 games last year.
I think it should be a pick 'em. I think it should be at half.
Yeah, but even then, I think Green Bay is going to come in here and just demolish Chicago.
Yeah, I don't know about.
I don't like Chicago this year.
I don't know about demolish, but I like Jordan Love, so I think he'll be like solid for them.
He sat 3 years behind Aaron Rodgers. He's got to learn something. Can't be that bad.
Even in the games he played though last year, he looked pretty decent. So yeah, I'm gonna take Green Bay. I'm guessing you're taking them as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Green Bay here.
Next up, we're gonna do Philly versus New England on -3.5. This feels like a weird line because it's in New England.
Yeah.
But still, like, this feels like an easy line. I feel like it's probably a trap, to be honest.
This feels like a trap game, right? You'll have it at 3.5. Why is it at 3.5? And you look at what New England's done this offseason. They haven't done much. I mean, they got rid of Myers. They got rid of.
Did you see the report though with Juju that his knee is like completely messed up and he's like. New England's like regretting the signing him.
Oh no, Juju's already gone.
No, he's still playing, but like they said that his knee or something's like really close to being like it's messed up. Like
oh no, I didn't know that. Oh no, I didn't know that. So they're not gonna have a wide receiver once. This is Tyquan Thornton time, baby. Drafting him in Dynasty a lot this year, boys. Can't even lie. So. But yeah,
I feel like it's like impossible to not take Philly.
How can you not go Philly here, right?
As much as I feel like a trap line, I'm taking the trap all day. I'm taking the bait.
I have to agree with you. I think Philly's gonna beat New England pretty easily here by more than a touchdown. Mm-hmm. I don't think this New England offense is gonna be able to do anything against this Philly defense. If I'm being honest, maybe Ramondre can do a few things.
I think Jalen Carter in this game is gonna really. Cement his place and show
why he was a high draft pick.
Yeah, and why he's gonna be the defensive rookie of the year.
I don't hate it. But anyways,
Seattle and LA.
Seattle versus LA. Seattle hosting as well as being 5.5-point favorites versus the Rams. Interdivision matchup here, but I think I'm gonna go Seattle, even though it's a pretty decent sized spread.
I'm gonna smash Seattle in a bet for this. I'm definitely taking them.
Yeah, I don't like this Rams team whatsoever. I mean, yeah, you still got Donald, you still got Stafford, but that's about
Kupp is not going to play in this game. This is the offense is going to be terrible.
I mean, you got what, Van Jefferson as your one?
Yeah, this guy's.
I don't like
Puka, the rookie that they drafted in the 5th round, Puka Nacua. It's going to be apparently he's going to be heavily involved.
Puka Nacua.
Exactly. So yeah, I think we're both gonna take Seattle.
I don't think there's much to say here. We both like Seattle.
Next up, we got probably the best game of the week. I think.
Very fun matchup.
Chargers versus Miami, a -2.5 spread for LA at home. I think this is pretty easily the It's gonna be a shootout. This is definitely gonna be a very high-scoring game. If you got any of the receivers or just any offensive players,
this is a smash matchup for anyone.
Smash the over. But I think if you got any of these receivers in fantasy or Herbert or Tua or whatever, gotta start them. So I'm gonna go Chargers here at -2.5, especially that they're at home. And plus, I really like this Chargers team. I think this should be an easy win for. Well, not easy. Definitely won't be easy, but I think this is gonna. They'll be able to cover it.
I'm going to go opposite of you. I'm going to go Miami here. I like this. I just think Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle are going to run crazy on this Chargers defense. Yeah, the Chargers defense is decent. It's not bad. It's definitely better.
It's kind of aging.
Yeah, it is on the upside, but it's definitely better than Miami's in my opinion. Yeah. So we're just going to really see if Miami can keep up with the Chargers offense. I think they can. Plus, they added a big piece like Jalen Ramsey. Maybe he turns back the clock and turns into his prime and shuts down everyone.
Is he back now, Ramsey, or is he still?
I think he's back. I'm really
because I haven't really since he got that injury. I haven't heard much, so I don't know if he's back or not.
Jalen Ramsey injury.
Yeah, because I don't think they released the injury reports yet. So
I was going under a full meniscus. Expected to be out until December.
Yeah, he is.
Never mind.
Yeah,
Scratch what I just said. Wow, okay, it was more serious than I thought. Never mind. This Chargers defense is a lot better than Miami's defense. But I don't know. I just feel like this is a little trap game for the Chargers. You know, being favored here 2.5. This Miami team is loved by everyone, and for them not to be favored here is interesting. I think Tua's gonna want to come in here and show up and show out like that he's still got it. He's still an okay quarterback.
Every time Justin Herbert and Tua go at it, like play against each other, Justin Herbert embarrasses him, man. So I feel like the Chargers usually win these type of games.
Yeah,
I think it's an easy one with the Chargers. But you're going Miami.
I'm going Miami here.
Now I'm gonna be really interested to watch this game.
And moving on, last 4 o'clock game. We got Denver versus Vegas. Denver being 4.5-point favorites. They are also hosting the Raiders.
Yeah, 4.5 in a divisional game is high, especially in one where these two teams are like kind of unknowns right now.
I mean, it's Sean Payton, right? That's why it's 4.5.
Because even Denver's gonna probably be without Jerry Jeudy most likely in this game. I'm expecting a big game from my boy Marvin Mims.
Yes, sir. Big sleeper in this draft. So if you've got him, get ready. Expect big things from Marvin.
But I'm still, in this case, going to go for Vegas. In a divisional game like this, a 4.5-point spread, I think Vegas should be able to cover this with Jimmy G, Devontae Adams. Bad defense, but I don't think Denver's offense is going to be anything too great either. So I'm going to go with the Raiders here.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you. I like the Raiders here against the spread. Obviously, you're in Mile High, but tough place to play. Just 4.5 points for this Denver offense is a lot. You're basically winning by almost a touchdown, and we saw them struggle last year. So I don't know if Sean Payton comes in and just transforms this offense. I doubt it. Russell Wilson last year did not look great. I don't think he's gonna be as bad as he was last year. I think he will improve slightly, but. You know, he's also getting up there in age. How much better is he going to be?
Even in the preseason, for the few games and snaps that he played, he didn't look that great. So, I don't know, this miraculous turnaround that they're expecting. I don't know if it's going to happen.
I mean, you would... If you're a Denver fan, you're praying. You got a lot of investment in Russell Wilson.
He has to.
He has to.
And if it's another year of disaster, it's going to be many more years of disaster for this Denver
and it's just going to be many more years of Seattle just thriving.
So Denver, start doing good.
You're on the clock, guys. You're on the clock. This is really make it or break it this year for you guys.
And next up, we got Dallas versus Giants, NFC East, sorry.
For Sunday nighter.
Yeah, Sunday Night Football.
How many times are we going to see this matchup as a Sunday nighter?
How many times are we going to see Dallas in prime time? Too much.
But anyways, yeah, you know, America's team, 3.5-point favorites. What do you think about it?
This is another tough line because it's like divisional game. Dallas, they're like should be a better team than New York. It's at MetLife.
In New York, it's in MetLife.
That changes it for me. I'm taking the Giants plus 3.5. I think they could easily cover that. It's a tough line. Like I'll give it to Vegas, man. This week they gave some tough lines.
It's a really tough line for me. I don't know, man. Danny Dimes, is he going to be able to do it? We saw what he did last year against the Cowboys. It wasn't great.
Darren Waller, 2 touchdowns. I'm ready for it.
You're ready for it, you think? I just think this Dallas defense...
It's a very good defense.
It's a very good defense, and Micah Parsons is going to be able to run wild.
And Deontay Banks is getting 2 picks as well. Yeah, I'll calm down.
That's a pretty bold take right there.
No, that one was crazy.
It's a pretty bold take.
But it's Dak Prescott at quarterback on the other side, so
I mean, look, if that goes down, you got Trey Lance coming in, so
I hope so.
I
not I hope so. I don't hope injury on.
I don't hope injury on anyone.
But I need to see my boy Trey Lance in the game.
No, I hear you. I like this Dallas team more than I like this Giants team, and it is the division matchup. It is Sunday night, prime time. Daniel Jones in prime time doesn't do great.
Does Dak though?
I don't know. This is a tough one, but I'm gonna go Dallas here, 3.5. I think they're gonna be able to cover it.
It could definitely happen. They could definitely win by a touchdown. I wouldn't be too surprised.
But I wouldn't be surprised if the Giants also cover the spread.
Mm-hmm. And now this is probably the second biggest game of the week. Maybe the biggest. It's a prime timer. So
Monday nighter, baby. First one of the year.
Buffalo versus New York. They gave us a good Monday nighter for week one. It's in MetLife again.
Yeah.
Another New York -2.5 for Buffalo.
This is a great spread in my opinion. I really like this spread for Buffalo.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Buffalo as well. New York, their first game together with Aaron Rodgers. The receiving core, besides Garrett Wilson, I'm not too impressed with it. I know Breece Hall and Dalvin Cook are both expected to play, and I know Breece Hall, they're gonna manage his workload.
Yeah.
So yeah, it could be a close. It probably will be a close game. I'm still gonna edge Buffalo out here, especially at a 2.5 point spread.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm gonna edge the Bills here. I think this Bills offense. A lot of people are sleeping on this Bills team, but it's still very, very good. And this defense, if it's healthy, is also very good.
Mm-hmm.
So we shall see. It's gonna be a fun matchup. I just trust Buffalo more than I trust New York. There's too much uncertainty with that offense. Get a guy like Aaron Rodgers coming in. Obviously, great quarterback. Love the guy, but how good is he going to be off the bat? You got Nathaniel Hackett calling plays. Last time he was calling plays wasn't too great in Denver.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how that turns out.
Yeah, but I feel like a lot of people are going to be betting on the Jets here, and I feel like I wouldn't be surprised if the line even goes down again for Buffalo.
I mean, listen, if it goes down, that just makes it even easier for me. I'm still taking Bills here.
Mm-hmm, me too.
I think they cover this field goal pretty easily.
So we got some picks that were different. I think it's going to be interesting. We'll see who's going to win the week one.
It's going to be a fun matchup on our end, especially. Mm-hmm. But I feel like what we should do is also just keep point of the weekly number. So, if you get 7 this week, I get 7 this week. We'll just write it. Unless you want to do one,
No, I would say we just do, whoever wins the week wins the week. But we can keep track of that. Who...
we'll keep track of the totals as well.
Yeah, the totals in case we need, in case there's, a tie... At
for
the end of the year
situations, yes, sir.
So yeah, that's what we got here for our week one preview. Can't wait to see it. I know you said your survivor pick would have been.
My survivor pick would have been between Washington or Philly.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think I would probably take Washington just because I would try and save Philly for another week because that's just one of those teams you want to save for later on.
Yeah.
I think Washington. This is the perfect time to take Washington. Maybe even Baltimore, but I think Baltimore is another one you'd like to save.
Yeah, I agree. So Washington's the pick for this week, boys. And if you lose, you remember to come back in this video and give us a dislike because we told you to bet wrong. But hey, listen, that's what we thought. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video for real. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And stay tuned because we're going to do some weekly recaps and previews for the upcoming weeks of the NFL. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one.
Come back on Monday or Tuesday, whenever the next one comes up, and you could see who won week one between us.
Yeah. And have a great night, guys, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.